let's talk about how to live true to yourself. You know, I read an interesting article years ago, and you may have heard of it. It's called The 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. Well, Bronnie was a palliative nurse, and she took care of people in their final days. And during her time serving these people, loving them, taking care of them, she started to notice themes in the things that they talked about. She noticed themes and patterns in their regrets when they look back on their life. The themes were so obvious and so consistent that she wrote an article and later a book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying in hopes that we could learn from this and make different choices today as we build our lives and write our stories. Well, the number one top regret of people facing their final days on this earth was they wish they hadn't worked so much. Yeah, that hits home for me. I'm sure it does for you as well in different ways. But the second top regret I thought was really interesting. The second top regret from people facing their final days was they wished they had lived a life true to themselves. They wish they hadn't become the person that everyone else wanted them to be. They wish they had done what they wanted to do and become the person they wanted to be. They wish they had lived from the heart and followed their passions and used their gifts and pursued their interests, even if those interests were different than what their parents expected or what their friends expected or what their peers pressured them to do. They wished they had lived a life true to themselves. I don't know about you guys, but that message is so powerful for me. I want to make choices today that lead to a life that I don't regret, that lead to me being the person I was created to be and living from my truest self. I want to be true to me, and I want you to live true to you as well. Well, as we think about this, it's really important for us to get to the root of where we find our identity. Where do we make decisions from of what we do and where we see ourselves, where we see our roles and our responsibilities? Where do we get our sense of identity from? I'll tell you, right out of college, I remember going through all of these different phases. Maybe you went through this as well in your early 20s when you're just trying to find yourself. When I look back, y'all, it is comical, some of the things that I did. I remember in college, I went through a pretty strong pop phase where I was wearing like bedazzled bandanas, kind of like J-Lo. This was very J-Lo at the time, if you remember this. I did not look like J-Lo, by the way. Couldn't pull that off in that way. I also remember right out of college, I moved to a farm. I've told you guys about this before. I had horses, a mini donkey, fainting goats, no practical purpose, by the way, for the fainting goats. I just got them for my entertainment. Worth it. It was hilarious when they passed out for no reason. I also remember, I took Latin and ballroom dance lessons and even competed in a competition because I thought that just seemed fun. Dancing with the Stars was becoming really huge at the time. I was like, I want to do that. I also, in my 20s, played on an adult soccer team with all Guatemalan men that spoke exactly zero English. And y'all, here's the best part. We were really stinking good because those dudes could play soccer. Awesome. We always won every championship. And my Spanish got really good at that time. Like, I have gone through every possible phase you can imagine. And what was really going on during this experimenting, if you will, is I was trying to find myself. Who am I? Am I this type of girl or that type of girl? Am I the farm girl or the pop girl? Am I the career woman? Am I going to be this type of woman? What do I need to know about myself? Who am I? But you know what's interesting? When I got a little older, had a little bit more life behind me, and certainly when I got married and had kids and had a steady job that I was at for years and years and am still at today, all of those things were decided for me. I don't have to look around and experiment. Who am I? Let me try on this outfit or try on this sport or this activity to see, is this what I'm about? Because I have all these roles now. I have all these titles now that tell me who I am. I am Matt Wright's wife. I am Carter and Conley and Mary Grace's mom. I am an author, a speaker, and a business coach. That is who I am. Isn't it interesting how we do that? We look to others to tell us who we are. We look at the world around us and look at our roles and responsibilities and titles to find our sense of identity. We look at ourselves through the lens of the world around us. But friend, I have to tell you something. As wonderful as some of those roles and responsibilities and relationships are, they do not define you. The world can never tell you who you are. There is only one place that you can find the true source of your identity. There's only one place that you and I should look to find out who we are. We cannot live a life true to ourselves if we don't first look to the one who gave us life to begin with. When you look to Scripture, when you look to the Bible to see what God says about you, you will find that you are so much more than those roles and responsibilities. You are so much more than a wife or a mom or a friend or a leader or an employee. You are so much more than that. Those things are wonderful. They are wonderful blessings in your life, but they are not everything. And they don't define you. And they are not the single source of your identity. Because if one of those things changes in some way, you need to know that you are still enough. You still have value. You are chosen. When you look to Scripture to see what God says about you in His Word, He says that you are created. You are chosen. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He made you and He does not make mistakes. You are adored. You are lovely. You have an amazing body. He delights over you with singing. He delights in you and He is with you. And He wants to spend time with you. You are loved by the God of the universe. You are loved by the God that put the stars in the sky, that created the heavens and the earth. He knows you by name, and more than that, He knows every single hair on your head. That is who you are. And oh, as a bonus, you might have these roles and titles and relationships and responsibilities. But if you want to live a life true to who you are, who you really are, the deepest, truest source of your identity, you need to know that you are loved by the God of the universe. That is who you are.